Hello, this is the Life as We See podcast with A and A. Today we're just going to be sharing a topic that is dear to my heart.
Yep. It's been a long week. I'm glad it's the weekend and we're having the opportunity to record this, So it's gonna be an interesting episode. Like Amaka said, I'm excited as well because the topic we're gonna be discussing is
We're going to be talking about offense and forgiveness because it's one topic that is really dear. I feel like it affects everybody.
Yeah.
So that's what we're going to be talking about today. So
yeah, I feel like in a world of brokenness, broken humanity, flawed humanity, you can't go through life without being offended or offending someone else. So it cuts both ways. It's not just
being offended. Also, you too
will offend other people, and also that's forgiveness is the other end of that spectrum, because offense has to come with forgiveness. So forgiveness, both of them should work hand in hand, really, in an ideal world.
Yeah.
So
so we're just gonna be talking about it today. So I am. What's offense to you? What is
we're not talking about weekend. What we're doing?
Okay.
A week. Yeah.
My goodness, I'm so energized.
No, but it's good. It's good. I wonder if people like these initial banters, and please, we'll like your feedback if you do like these initial chit chats we usually have before we go into the episode.
So we're just gonna dive into offense and forgiveness.
Yes.
So, Zuki, what does offense? What would you say is offense, or what does offense mean to you?
I think we've all had times, as human beings, where we felt hurt, betrayed, offended, broken, by someone. For me, the important thing for me regarding offense is, to acknowledge those feelings or those emotions when they come, right? So when someone betrays me or does something wrong to me, hurts me, I acknowledge it, because there's a tendency to just overlook it and say, oh, I have a thick skin. I don't care what you do, I'll just keep muzzling through it. So that I can see. It's a survival mechanism, I guess. But I think being true to your emotions, to your feelings, when someone does something wrong to you, is very, very key. And I don't know if I answered the question, but for me, I see offense as someone just maybe betraying your trust or betraying your feelings, just not treating you right the way you want to be treated. It's quite a vast thing.
Yeah, I agree. So I'll just piggyback on what you said. Like, offense could be different forms of offense. It could be something someone said, something somebody did, or how they made you feel. So offense can be diverse. So, and it just means that somebody's probably doing something that you find not acceptable, something that you find you don't agree with, something that you think, okay, this is against my own beliefs or my personal beliefs, or just something that is painful, like you talk about betrayal. So that's, I think it's more saying the same thing practically.
Yeah. So is it important, because I mentioned I talked about feelings, right? I think sometimes maybe as Christians, we almost take that stance of I don't want to get offended, I don't want to get angry, so whatever you do to me, I'll just overlook it, brush it off my shoulders, keep logging forward. Is that healthy? Just
because you're trying to avoid conflict.
You're trying to avoid conflict,
or you just don't want it. Yeah, I think it's two ways. So I know that the Bible talks about, like, it is to the honor of someone. I think it's in Proverbs. God talks about it to one's honor to avoid a fight. So sometimes if it's avoidable, that's fine. But what I think is not healthy is denying that those feelings are there. So, like, you could avoid something and still go back and be like, well, I don't really like what that person said. What that person said was hurtful, right? So, and I think another thing with offense is that we must be ready to differentiate the offender from the action. Because, like, a lot of people, when something is done to them, they characterize the person. So, example, somebody offends you or somebody offends me, I automatically now say, oh, that person is a bad person because they offended me. But that's not true. What they did offended me. I found whatever they did or said offensive, it does not mean the person is a bad person. And I think we need to come to that level, and it will help us process feelings more. That because when you differentiate the action from the person, you still respect the person, but you're saying that this behavior or this action is unacceptable to me. And so I think putting at the back of your mind, and then it takes away that shame, right? Because now you're differentiating. So there's no shame of that person is a bad person, this person did this. Because if we go by shame, none of us is ever good, right? We're all flawed. We've all been a villain in somebody's story. We've all offended somebody. So we must come to that point and say that it's whatever that person did that offended me, not necessarily who they are. Fine, you can maybe if it makes you feel better. A lot of people conclude because it makes them feel better. Say the person was a bad person, rather than what they did is a bad thing, right? So, but if not necessarily true, in that same bad person, they can be wonderful to somebody else. So that's why you cannot characterize somebody. Even you yourself will not want to be characterized by one action.
I like how you brought up that point, because one action shouldn't define someone, right? That black or white thinking where you say this person is all bad or this person is all good, it doesn't hold at all. We make mistakes. Just like you offend. Sometimes you even offend unknowingly without knowing, right? And then it's not that because your intentions are different than how the person perceives it, right? And then they take it out. So the other person I had, or the other angle I had, was I agree with you about separating the offense from the offender. We'll say it that way. At what stage does it become the person's, character, like a character issue, character flaw in the person? Because someone can offend you the first time, and it's like, okay, I'm separating it, and then they keep showing you that side. At what point, my Angela said, when someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. She said the first time, So how do we play into that?
I think for me it's the pattern. Like, and I know a lot of people might not agree with me, because a lot of people are like, sometimes generation is like, if you offend me, I cut you off. You don't even need for a second chance. It's that behavior. But I think it's a pattern to be able to come. As in, I inherently believe that every human being is good. There's a good side to people. Like, you don't see a child that is bad. Like, I mean, they might play tricks, but their intention, a child, like, naturally would not want to kill another person. Do you understand? If they knew that their behavior was harmful. So I feel that as we grew up, we became shaped by our experiences or just the world and the things that have happened to us. And so that changed our mindset. So I feel that even in the worst person, right, there's still good in them. It's kind of seeing the way Jesus sees us. That even Jesus sees anybody, wherever they are, with goodness, with compassion, and with goodness. So I kind of feel that everybody can be good. Is everybody good? No, because it's a decision, it's a choice to be good. Some people are just hurt. And have you heard that phrase that hurting people hurt people? So if somebody is hurt, there's that tendency for them to hurt people, right? Because it's stemming from a place of inside, whatever is going on inside is now what is going to happen outside. So understanding that there's so many factors that can play into that, but I would say you must first look at yourself and your sanity and your peace of mind. So if you are always being offended by someone, but the person has shown you a pattern of like, I just want to get under your skin. I want to get under your skin. I just want to provoke you. You then have to make a decision to either remove yourself from that situation or not. Right. You understand? For your peace of mind.
Yeah, I agree with you, for your peace of mind, because honestly, most times I think offense, when it happens, is almost like someone either breaking your boundary or just crossing your whatever boundary you set for yourself. So when you keep having those type of experiences, it chips away at you,
Yes.
right? It chips away at you. So you should.
yourself.
And I'll disagree slightly with you when you say everyone is. I want to agree. I used to be of that opinion that everyone is inherently good, but I think when Adam and Eve sinned and sin came into this world, honestly,
So people get bad.
humanity is broke. I'm telling. Okay, so I think studies show that maybe I don't know, maybe 1% of the world population are psychopaths. Have you heard the word psychopath? And you know the characteristics of psychopathic people who are just born to, like, they have no emotions, they have no feelings. Like, they can just do anything and move. They can just do any evil thing and just, just dust it off and go. No emotion, no empathy. So some people were really born, which is sad. Really, really sad. And like you said, some people, the society, the upbringing, the experiences that shaped them, because hurting people hurt others, like you said, and childhood trauma, childhood experiences, which we don't talk enough about, shapes the adults that we become, shapes the way we show up as humans in the world. And a lot of those toxic traits, we don't even know we have them. We don't even know they are toxic. For us, it's just a, survival mechanism, right? You're just trying to preserve yourself, preserve your sanity and all that. And you hurt people in doing so, not intentionally, but you still hurt people either way. And we do it to one another, because what is normal to me might not be normal to you. And if I act that way, you're like, what is she doing? For me, that's normal. That's the way I've always, like, if you grow up in a family where everyone shouts at, they scream to talk.
So you think it's a normal thing?
It's a normal thing. Your friend is still and screaming. You're like, why is she screaming? Like,
you should agree at
me, but no.
But also, isn't that where, like, understanding comes from? Being able to talk about things and say, okay, why are you acting in this manner? Being able to have a dialogue about a certain behavior.
Right.
Like if it was friendship, you should be having those kind of conversations where you're like, oh my goodness, why are you screaming? Is there something wrong?
Yeah.
And then they'll tell you, oh no, that's my normal way of talking.
Right.
Like, that's how we gist at home. You understand? Not
That's
like,
true.
not
just taking offense and
not just
giving the person the opportunity.
giving the person the opportunity, right? But then it's different if, you've told me, we've had a discussion about it, but then I'm still like, well, I'm not used to all those shouting. Can you, when you're talking to me, not try not to shout, and then you are still shouting even after we've had that, if you've had that conversation with your friend, and then she's still like breaking the boundaries of, like, she's still shouting, and you just want to have a regular conversation, that's different from, like, if somebody was just offending you unintentionally, right? So if you talk to someone about a boundary or something that you want to be, like, how you want something to be done, and the person is showing a pattern that they keep disrespecting your boundaries, then that's different. I think then it's up to you as the person to put your feet on the ground and put things in place to just protect yourself and, like, your peace of mind and your sanity. Because if you're not careful, like, those things get to you, right? So
That's true.
Yeah,
I feel offense is inevitable. There's no way you live in this world you won't, either you offend or someone offends you. So just being able to have those tough conversations when they happen. But someone like me, who I really don't like conflict. Like, I'm so conflict averse. I'm so non-confrontational. Like, I'm like, please don't offend me. Please don't offend me. So I told you this before. So one time where I was working back home, there was this guy who, just a colleague, right? We all worked in the same office, and sometimes we just all gather together, gist, and anytime there's team gathering where everyone is gisting and laughing, he always wants to crack jokes, and he wants to make me the butt of his jokes. And I was like, why does this guy keep doing this? And it used to bother me. But one day I was like, hey, dude, don't do that anymore. Don't make me the butt of your jokes. If you want to be funny, but hey, keep me out of your mouth, and I think, and he didn't know, probably, again, it has to do with upbringing, like the way he is with his friends. I guess he's like that with his friends.
Like that.
But I'm not used to that.
That's not the way you were brought up. So it was kind of alien to you.
Yeah. So being able to just face it head on and get that resolution and move on, it's very important.
Or else maybe because he didn't know, he would have continued to disrespect it. And I think maybe it helped to actually say, oh, this thing, I don't really like it. So, and then that helped him to, like, stop.
Yes. Okay, so now let's not sound all, righteous and holy. So when, Amaka, have you offended someone, and when has, like when have you offended someone, and when do you think someone has maybe offended you that you were able to? It might not be a specific example, but like in what scenarios would that look like? Let me start with myself. So you know what? These days, I just try to brush it off. One thing that helped me, Amaka, is that I try to meet people where they are. True. When someone offends me, I try to ask myself, why did they do this? What was their back? Who hurt them? How, like, I need to go deeper into like
are they facing something?
Are they facing something that
they
having a bad day?
You give them excuse,
benefit of the doubt, just because that way, I think for me, it's a coping mechanism. It helps me to cope too from like, but so that has kind of helped me. But I'll say in recent time, who has offended me? I don't offend easily these days, so let me see, because that mindset just makes me brush things off. Who has offended me? Man, maybe from childhood, I remember when I was a kid, many years ago, I told my best friend a secret about something that happened at home. I was like, don't tell anybody, don't tell anybody. She also told me her own secrets. Don't tell anybody, don't tell anybody. And things we go through as childhood kind of affect us a lot. Both of us agreed, we won't tell anybody our secrets. So, do you know that as soon as another friend of hers came, she was like, hey, this girl, let me tell you what Zuki said. She said, oh my God. How old were we? We were maybe 8, Amaka. We were so little.
And so wait, you were there, so you heard her.
I heard her. She was all pointing at me. She said, let me tell you what she was I know. I was a child. So that experience kind of it almost made me become grounded with people. I was like, this little child,
Don't tell him,
So and that was, and of course, as a child, child, we don't know how to hold what you did is not good. I don't like it. I don't want to, so that was it. See how far back I'm going. I'm sure there's so many offenses, but I can't even remember any. And then when I've offended people, I think I know by maybe some people are more passive aggressive than confrontational. So maybe the way they begin to treat you, or the way they begin to, changes. And I'm like, oh, maybe about this person, and but again, in that instance, it's difficult to know. I can't come and say, the person doesn't say it. It becomes very tricky. But for me, I never want to make someone uncomfortable at all. I never want to. It's not my intention. So if there are any toxic traits or anything in me that I feel is toxic that is weighing you down, I'm okay if you stop engaging with me. Honestly, I wouldn't hold it against you. I'll prefer that you come and tell me, oh, this is what you do, I don't like, then we can resolve. But if not, that's fine. And I wouldn't even, I'll be like, oh, maybe they don't take my cool, maybe they don't like me, that's okay, It hurts, let me not say
it hurts. I think for me, I'll give an example where I think I've offended someone. So I called somebody when she was going through a lot at that particular time in her life. But when I called to check in on her. But she probably thought I was calling for something else. I don't know, for some reason. So she was like, why are you calling me? What is it? Blah, blah. Like, as in, it was like, she was like pointing fingers at me, like, you did this, you did that. And I felt bad because honestly, I called to check up on her, but she looked at it like an offense. Why are you calling me? Because she was going through something that everybody knew. And then so she thought that maybe I was just trying to get a story or something to taunt her, to laugh at her. Maybe people have, but that was not my intention. So it hurt me when she said that. And then she was like, oh, so she felt hurt when I called her that or so. And I was like, what? This is my intention. I'm so sorry that I made you feel uncomfortable. But my intention was to check up on you. I don't want to hear any story. I just want to make sure that you're doing okay. And that was, for me, that was the last time I called her, honestly. Because I don't want my intentions to be. And I know some people say, oh, that means you didn't really mean it. No, it's not that I didn't really mean it. Somebody has expressed to me that my calling them made them feel uncomfortable. And genuinely, they were going through a tough time. I don't want to add to your body. If my calling is making you uncomfortable, I don't want to add to your body. Do you understand? And so it was from that place I was coming from. I was like, well, it hurts. It's fine. God, you know my heart. And sometimes it really hurts because And
Your good intentions.
it's been, and I understand it. Sometimes when you're in a situation where you're going through a lot, because I've been there, you're about to like suspect everything or everybody, or think that people are just like have ulterior motive. Most people, like if one person show you, right, you think that most like everybody's like that.
Thank you.
You have a renewing of your mind, and God helps the renewing of your mind. So I think that's what she was going through, and that's totally okay. But I had to like look back and say, oh, that hurts.
Yeah.
And then I felt like a villain in her story. So that's an example of like hurting somebody, right? So that's why I say that all of us, because we are humans, intentionally or unintentionally, we've all hurt somebody. So that's why we must step back and say that, okay, separate the action from the person. The person might not have meant it. And then where I felt offended, many times. Many times. But I do want to say this before I talk about where I felt offended. That I actually do, when you were talking about passive aggression, I actually prefer, I know it hurts, but I actually prefer somebody coming to talk to me about what I did.
Yes.
Than changing.
And the silent treatment and the malice.
Or the going, I prefer you to come and talk to me about it. Because that's what the Bible says. Go to the person privately and talk to the person about it. I prefer it. I know some people might not prefer it, or most people don't feel safe or bold to do it, but I actually do prefer it. The ones that have been offended, or like have been offended many times, for me, it was like, oh, okay, offense. And then people have offended me. Somebody have told something, has got to tell you to somebody to misconstrue it. And then those things are painful, because sometimes when something passes one person to the second person, they add pepper as salt, right? If somebody comes and tell you, oh, Azuka said something about me, you understand? There's no how, there's no pepper and salt. There's no how. There's no how. There's nobody coming to tell you something about somebody that you not add pepper and salt. That's why that's why the Bible says that gossip separates friends. So because there's no how gossip. Like you do not add pepper, salt, and exaggerate, make it bigger. So I think that's where we have been offended, but I've learned to separate the action from the offender. Because I can say, okay, I can easily characterize and say that person was a bad person, but I don't think like that. I don't see you as a bad person. Will I put up parameters to maybe protect myself? Yes. I'll do. I might not tell you something next time, secrets or something, but I don't see you as a bad person. I see you as just being human, because that's what the human nature would do, right?
I think that's important. Because knowing that will help you extend grace to other people. Right? Because I don't care how perfect you think you are. You're not. You know, you might be cooling your own. You might be drinking your own Kool-Aid, but not everyone is drinking it with you. So always because we have, just like when you're driving, there's a blind spot, right? You don't see. We all have blind spots that other people can see, but we can see it. So,
and again, because like, just to add to what you said, sorry to cut you short. Just because like offense is subjective, do you understand?
That's true.
You can easily offend somebody, like you're like, sir, did I offend you? Like you don't even know, right?
It's the way the person perceived it.
The person perceived it. For example, you talk about your I'll give this one straight. You talk about your accomplishments. And to somebody else is viewed as bragging, or you're being proud. Oh, is it because me, I've not done that yet? You understand? So it can be viewed. That's where a lot of like jealousy and rivalry comes from. Somebody is genuinely, for example, let's talk about Joseph in the Bible. Joseph had an innocent dream. An innocent dream. The only mistake he made was that he told his brothers. That was his only mistake, but it was an innocent dream that God had given him. To the brothers, he felt like, who does he think you? How does he think? So because offense can be very subjective. So you might do it.
So finish your thought.
So you can do it unintentionally, right? You can offend somebody and not even know that you've offended the person.
So do you think that people, when people get offended, right, it is talking to something within them, maybe some insecurity, right, or some unhealed wounds. That's why they perceive it as offense. Because, for instance, just like for me, let me go back to the example of the guy at work that was always cracking jokes and then making me the butt of his jokes, right? Someone else might not feel that way. They won't get offended, right? They'll be like, oh, this guy, okay, at least includes me in his jokes and, just laugh about it. But for me, looking back, I think I took offense, and it's something I'm still working through, because growing up, as yes, I was like one of the younger ones at home. So my elder one was my older sister. They always made fun of me. They yabbed me. I always used the word bully, but it was always like, growing up now. That's fight back. Fight back. My tiny person, I was like a tiny little body. I couldn't even fight back. I didn't have the words to. So as a grown up, when someone does that, it just takes me back to that place. I'm like, no, don't. So there's an unknown part of me that responds that way to such interactions. So
I think so.
Yeah. So just take offense. It's something. It's linked to something. Some insecurity.
Most times like except the person is blatantly like insulting you. There's some people that are coming to your face and like you are bad, you are evil, you are this. Like. But if it's something indirect, it's a little bit of insecurity.
Yes.
The reason why I say so is that if somebody comes and shares good news with you, if you've achieved that thing or you have that thing, you'll be happy. But if you don't, you'll be happy for them.
Yes.
Naturally, you will happy. It's when you don't that your flesh is not like, why did she come and tell me? You see, because she wants to pepper them down. And the person doesn't even have the idea of any pepper them down to you that are one thinking, oh, this person want to pepper me, that's why they came to tell me. Well, if you have that thing, if anyone do better than that person, you'll be okay.
You'll be okay. That's true. 100%. Yeah,
you'll be okay. So sometimes it speaks to what
is happening inside. And I think it calls for us to also be very self-aware in that regard, right? So when someone, Amaka, there was this lady in my group, so I've been in my group, my former group, for maybe 3 years, 3.5 years, and then we had this new recent college graduate who came in India. You know how Indians are, become very outspoken, forward and all that. And this girl, and I think before she came, I was the only female in my team, right? So I always felt, okay, I'm the only female, the only minority as well. If eventually some other black group joined. But she came with this kind of vim, this kind of, always wanting to tell people what to do. She knew everything. She knew what, Girl, man, I felt, if I tell you I didn't feel threatened, I'll be joking. In a funny way, I just felt like, I felt a bit slighted. I felt like, who are you? How dare you come in and just jump right into the group and try to give orders or commands? Join the rank, I felt, and she must pass through, and this is me being totally honest with myself.
Her confidence threatened me.
Her confidence was threatening, her outspokenness, because like I said, I was the minority, the only female. So sometimes I could, just be a bit more passive in the group. But she came and discussion, she's contributing, she's doing that. Man, I said, girl, I had to be honest with myself. I said, why do I feel this way about this lady? Why do I feel this way? And I had to dig. I was like, you know what? She's got something, and I wish I had that. She's so outspoken, so confident, so all out there. And I must tell you that after, and she was nice. She wasn't disrespectful or anything, but she tried. We even went to see movies sometimes, but I think she felt that there was just this.
She wanted to be.
She wanted us maybe to be closer, but I guess maybe I was just a bit not cold, but just not. We're not that cool. We're not that friends. And after I left the group, I actually realized, girl, you ain't nothing.
You didn't.
I was saying to myself, I said I didn't try. I ain't nothing. And it spoke so much to my security that I was trying to, protect and hide and cover up. But this lady just came and everyone sees how different than me she is, how more, and then I almost felt exposed, I don't know, it's just a funny feeling, and it was bad for me, and I really repented of it, and I tried to make up, but we're in different groups now, so we don't see often. But I just wanted to mention that.
I think also when those things, I go back to your point that when those type of feelings come, because they will come, it's always good to recognize where is
it coming from, and tell yourself the truth. Don't point finger on the other person. Tell yourself the truth.
Making me. Person being themselves. You to be your own self. That's your own self.
Yeah.
So I feel like the feeling is trying to tell you that you are not being yourself. Because if you're being yourself, you shine in your own light. And I'm not trying to make someone pet. Basically, what you're trying to tell her is that she should shrink for you.
Exactly. I was talking about people pleasing last. Exactly.
So she shrinks. so that
Yeah.
she's able to be your friend.
Be my friend and just be
and then you
like
guys will not be pals.
Yeah.
But no, that's
No.
not what we don't want that for ourselves. We don't want that for other people. Because that's not what God created them for. So I think also recognizing the feeling and saying that where is this thing coming from? Why do I feel this way?
It's not that person.
It's not that person.
It's you.
Is it what I'm going through? Because when we go through a hard time, we just say everything as, oh my God, everything is hard. Is it what I'm going through? Is this something inside of me? Being able to like dig down deep and say, okay, maybe it's me.
Be honest with yourself.
Yeah,
it's really tough. It's really tough. I mean, I think it takes humility. It takes a lot of self-awareness to admit to yourself.
And reflection. Just being able to say, oh my God, what is happening here? Like, why do I feel this way? Why is it that this person is getting
just triggers me? Yeah, that's why it triggers me.
Me. And then most times, another thing I've noticed with offense that triggers us or provokes us is if you are trying to protect your reputation.
Yes.
So that's one a big one that God has dealt with me about. You're trying so much to protect your reputation that you feel that everything you must defend yourself, you must talk, you must say. So like if somebody lies, if somebody lies or you'll say something that is not true, the natural person, you want to defend your name. Like I will give you tit for that. Behind that thing is that fear of losing your reputation. But once you know, if you are secure in who you are and in who God has said you are, then you know that your reputation is in God's hands.
It's in God's hands. It has nothing to do with other people.
It has nothing to do with other people. Understand? You're already who God has made you to be. Your destiny is already secure. It's not dependent on other people's opinion. Whatever God has said you will be, you will be. Do you understand? So when I got to that realization, I know more. That's why somebody put one quote to say that if you hear something about me, add your own version of the story. Like, as in, you don't really care anymore. Not like in a harmful way, but in a peaceful way.
Yeah, you're not enslaved people's opinion.
Yes, in a peaceful way. It's not like you're going about hurting people and then you're saying you don't care. No, I'm not talking about that one. I'm talking that you are living your life, but and yet you don't care that what another person thinks about you, even though it might not be positive, right? So that tendency to want to protect your reputation or to say, oh God, I'm right, even though you're right, you don't need to prove it. You don't need to prove it all the time. You just need some time to just let God lead you or just do what you have to do. And sometimes some of those things are like distractions. Offenses can be distracting. One big
Jesus said if you're praying and you have something against your brother, leave that thing, or if you bring an offering, leave that offering, go first and reconcile with your brother, because it can be distracting, it can steal your peace of mind for just no reason. And then also when somebody offends you and you take offense, you give that person power over you. Because you see the person, you burn your face. You were smiling before you have started burning. You understand? Just small things where they exert control over you is the way that offense can blow you. So 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 Amaka, we've talked a lot about offense now. So on the other end of it, so if you never get that apology from the person, if you never get that I'm sorry, you never get that reasonableness, like we were talking, you said some people, it's a reasonable person you can even confront and say you offended me and they'll be willing to apologize, right? If the person doesn't even acknowledge or apologize, what's the next step? How do we do? And that's where I think forgiveness comes in. How do we?
I think forgiveness, oh my gosh, I think you've tried everything. This person is not willing to change. They don't even think they don't think they did anything wrong. Like today, they're just
they didn't do anything wrong, or they're just being trying to let me use the popular word,
maybe said something, they're just fine about it. So
you don't know they offend.
I don't know. Some people act like they don't care.
Wow.
Some people act like they don't care. Like they're like, for that small thing. You understand? Some people act like that. You understand?
So how do you forgive in that situation where the person don't even send you?
I think knowing the benefits of forgiveness. I think there's nothing. If you go by like your nature. You will not forgive anybody. Like, you literally not forgive anybody. Even the one that says sorry, you will still not forgive. Because there are some offenses we were talking the other day that are just too deep. There are some hurts that are too deep. Do you understand? You now start forgiving the person like that. I think knowing the benefits of forgiveness, like why is forgiveness important, will help you. Because if you know the benefits, first thing, I think forgiveness is for you. If something is for you, won't you do it? Why is it for you? Why do I say it's for you? Because if you don't forgive, right, like I talked before, you give the offender power over you. Secondly, you are carrying baggage, burdens, like you are keeping unforgiveness. At the end of unforgiveness is what? Bitterness, right? You begin to think of ways to maybe get back at that person. Energy you would have used to pursue your dream, to build a multi-billion-dollar business. Energy you would have used to take over the world. I'm just kidding. But you understand what I'm saying. Energy you would have used to go back to school, to read, to be profitable to yourself and your family. You're thinking of how to get 10 million ways to get back to somebody. I will wait. Somebody was giving a story. He was like, okay, you do me now. I will wait 10 years. I go do my own. Do you understand? You are thinking for 10 years how to get back to somebody. That's wasted energy. So forgiveness, when you forgive somebody, it makes your body light. Like it takes it away. It doesn't mean the person has won. It means that you are winning because you have decided that you're not going to carry such, like whatever the person has placed on you, right? You understand? So like if somebody was throwing away trash, you understand, on the road or giving it on the road, won't you duck and say, no, I don't want this trash?
You know, that's a good analogy just right now about this trash, because some people are just human trash bags. They have so much trash. They're making it on other people. Like they're so hurt, they're so broken, they're so hurt. Instead of looking for help, going for counseling, therapy, they rather put it on. I don't understand. And you will not be carrying their trash for them. Back to the send it back.
And then unforgiveness, we talked about it. It's like you are drinking poison. You are expecting that person to die. You're like, this person won't forgive you. As if your forgiveness has hold on the person. You even see the person, they'll be joining, they'll chop you life.
They'll be successful, doing well. As if God wants you. As if God also make them his enemy. No.
They are still God's children. So it's for you, so that your body is light. Secondly, I wanted to talk about something that God helped me to see with forgiveness and unforgiveness. When you know that if somebody offends you, they've already kind of sinned against you. Let's be clear. Because they did something wrong to you, right? In the natural scale, they've sinned, basically. The devil has something against them. And you, let's say we're doing point system, right? They offend you. They are 1 minus 1. You are 0 now. When you carry unforgiveness, you have entered 1-1. According to the devil, both of you are the same place. According to with God too, because God, the Bible says that the devil is the accuser of brethren. So the devil always look for what to accuse this person of. See this person, when God wants to bless them, will say, this person, no, they've done this, they've not forgiven their father for the past 17 years. They've not forgiven this person for the past 18 years. He will now be bringing charges against you, even though you were the offended. Now you have become the offender because of unforgiveness. And so you are in the same level with somebody that even offended you. Right? And so the devil has every right to accuse you.
So Amaka, you make it sound so beautiful, so straightforward, so easy to do, right? Again, like you said, there are levels of offense, right? Amaka, I don't know. No, honestly.
People are very strong team.
Amaka, no, let's say a scenario where someone, right, takes someone else's life. Right?
So
that or someone was sexually molested, maybe as a child, by someone who they trusted. Like there's just so many layers to it. It's a lot. See, there's some kind of offense that you need help, you need God's help to work through. You need counseling, you need therapy to work through it, because in your own human flesh, you cannot.
Kind of offense.
You know, because you know, for them, I think that unforgiveness keeps them. It's also a safe space for them
because they feel like they are
holding the person. So I still hold you. I'm safe, right? So you let it go. You're really not in the real sense. Yeah. So it can be hard. So for such people, how will they? You know, what's because
I say, man, if it's like that one, people are gonna be strong team. And I understand there are different levels of offense. Like somebody steal my pencil. Now I go 0, right? Or somebody
gossips about that one is so small.
That was small. When you come back killing, somebody betrayed you. Somebody needs to lose your job. Lies on you. They lose your job or lose something. Those are big. Those are really hard. And I understand. And I understand, trust me. But the thing is, you will not take poison. But I'm saying it again, and I expect another person to die. You cannot be drinking poison and expect another person to die. Unforgiveness is what poison. Because the Bible says get rid of the root of bitterness, get rid of it.
Yeah.
So when you have those kind of offenses that are so hard, so big, the person that did it to you, you're like in your mind, you're like,
this person has even passed on.
And you're holding on to it. I think you just need to pray. What has helped me personally is to pray. I pray for the person. It's not easy because when I pray for the person, I pray for the person to do well. Do you understand? Every time I pray for the person, my heart softens towards them. Do you understand? It's very, very hard because all your natural brain wants is that person will enter train and train will jam them and they will die. That's all you're thinking when you are offended. But when you pray for them, God begins to help your heart. God begins to soften your heart. And I want to say something that when somebody has been offended, do not tell them they have to forgive. Do not tell them, this thing has gone for a long time. You are still holding on to this. Forgiveness takes time because it takes a lot of processing of your feelings, being able to say, this thing has gone on for too long. It takes a lot of processing of feelings. So don't let somebody should not tell another person
their timeline. Take time to process.
Like prayer helps. Pray for the person. Pray every day. Say, God, help me to forgive this person. I pray for this person, they will do well. As I pray for the person to do well, because your natural mind is thinking, let this person end up in a ditch. The person not going to end up in a ditch.
No, because God loves them too much. God makes them safe. In fact, God will say, look at Paul. Look at Paul in the Bible. After killing Stephen, God still saved him. In fact, God will save them and use them for great things.
So it's also to your loss. So you pray for them and say, God, to touch their own heart. And God also wants your heart to be purified. So that's why it's good for you to pray. I think prayer really, really helps. There's nothing else I can say because when I hear some stories, it breaks me. I'm like, how can somebody do that to someone else at this point
so
in
bad
time?
So in the long, forgiveness is honestly the best route to go with offense. It's the best route to go because it's hard, like we've acknowledged here. It takes supernatural enablement from God to be able to completely forgive, because sometimes you might think you're forgiving someone and something happens, it triggers you, you're like, oh God, I still need to work on this area with this person. So it's something you keep working on. Don't rush yourself. If you may be in a situation whereby you've been hurt terribly, just take it gradually. If you need counseling, get counseling. Process that feeling, whatever emotion, those residual feelings you have from that event, even though it happened many years ago. Just process it. Continue to pray.